Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. I want to show you Fibonacci levels for the pricing target. So let me just set up my screen here. Okay, so what I've got here is I made a new script called here chart price action. I can feed it in the argument as the pair that I want, as well as the number of days I want to analyze, all hourly data. So this is how everything works thus far. So I'm going to show you the most recent pricing action for Bitcoin against USDT, which is equivalent of the world of Bitcoin against US dollar. This is using Binance, and hopefully we can get some information happening today. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. It doesn't normally take that long. Let me just get rid of my mail component here. And, okay, so we will have some new charts. The only ones I'm going to show you is the Fibonacci and the Bitcoin. And let's look at we can look at both of them. BTC, USDT, and these are all PNG files. If you're learning from my course, this is built upon already what you should already know. I'm using Chart Director here. So the first thing I've got is just a pricing action since 1st of May. So today is Wednesday, May 8th. It is, all of these are hourly data over 24 hours, obviously. Here's our volume. You see the big moves with Bitcoin. Has been doing really well, hitting some points of RSI, and it's maintaining its what we'll call now support and resistance levels using Fibonacci. So here's the Fibonacci levels. I have fixed up the Fibonacci charting. Hopefully you are familiar with Fibonacci. I'll assume you are. We have our popular levels of Fibonacci levels, 0.236, 382, 0.5, 0.61, 0.786, and 100. So we can use these now for purely entry and exit, and you'll see how deadly accurate this is. So for instance, now remember, this is going back 1 week. So usually you can use this level as what do you say? We have a move, price move, or on the move, and it's going to break through this 500 level. A couple of ways we can do it for an entry is usually we're going to use these levels as support. So once we know we are having a price over the last week consistently higher than let's say support level at 362, and then if it breaches through 500, we can do one of two things. We could say, okay, I'm not feeling too good. I don't know if Bitcoin has enough momentum in USDT or Tether. Will it break through that 500? And if it does, yes. So one way to play it is to put on half a position. If it breaks in through the next important line, which a lot of people use, is 618, use that as an entry. You can see here that at 618, the price of Bitcoin did bounce off it twice, and then it went up to level 766. A couple of things what we could see here is if we put on half a position, a full position on the price when it hits a 618, we put on the position, we would have lost a little money here. Same here on the second touch. But the price is still broken through 618. So because it now has moved up to the next level at 786, and you can see each time it's hitting new highs, it's always either hitting 786 or 100. And this is the bizarre thing about the high accuracy of Fibonacci. I mean, I'm going to show you other charts that show you it's just so close, the highest high that it reaches at these levels. So Here at 786, it reaches, here it reaches at 786. And again, we could have done two things. We could have closed out our position here at 786 and take profit. And then, as you know, in Binance, we can't really short, but if we could short here and maybe think that the price would have dropped down, which it did. But it did come back at 700, so you know that I wouldn't say let the level 500 is the exact support line, but in between the 382 and the 500 line here and here to set a new support. So once again, we break through that 500. We could put an entry here, half a position, full position here, take profit at a 786, and boom. Another way we could do it is on this leg, the 500, half a position, full position. We still may have been in this, I don't know, taken an exit once we hit this level 100 and taken profit. But you see what's happening now is that this price here, or this level at 786 may become, if it holds over the next few days, the 786 will become the new support. And then if momentum continues with the price of Bitcoin, we can use this as a new support and this, and we can readjust. I'll show you how we can do that. So here, along here is the pricing. So here's our levels. Now, these are the most recent. So we could set our level 100 or 500 at 56.85. We could set our entry at the 618 level at 57.62, and then we could take profit here at level 786 and take profit at 58.70. Or if we're feeling good and we see the momentum continuing, we can then take profit at 6,008. So we can set exact pricing levels or targets for both the entry and the exit. Now, what I'm not showing you here is the cool thing. So this little script will chart the price action using both the moving average here. So here, as I said, this is what's been going on, but we pay really specific attention. We can also see the momentum is dying off, but that's okay. But if we know that we're setting our, as I said, our new support level here at 786, we can now recalculate our most recent Fibonacci's, and we can do that through this script by doing this. So let's say we want to run a new set of lines or Fibonacci levels for 3 days. So what I just showed you, 7 days. So now we're going to look at the 3 days. So again, this is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been performing pretty well. I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe it's the recording. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to look at it again. And there's two charts. This is now for 3 days. Okay, so we can see here in the pricing, here's what we need to worry about with Bitcoin. If we're going to trade on the hour, we get a big move and then we get a big down move. So those still exist. Look at these down, these big, large negative moves, like big ones. We need to worry about those. So the question becomes, how do we trade it and what type of long view do we use? 7 day, 3 day, 1 day, daily only, hourly? It's a whole combination. It depends upon how this plays out. But it really comes down to the, again, the Fibonacci level. So this is now 3 days. So our price is approximately between 5,900 and 6,050. Okay, so here we have, again, using the same logic at 500 right here. So this is a good move, half a position, full position. You could still hang on that trade, or we could have gotten out here. So again, we could have got in a half position here at level 500, full position here, and it moved up, broke through the 786, take profit. Now, that's what you should usually do, because if you hung on to that trade and hoped that it would hit the 100, probability of it is not happening very much. But either way, these are big moves. You can see this is at 57.50, or sorry, you know, these are like roughly 50, let's say 5,800 here at the 500, and it moved all the way up past. I mean, you're looking at a 10, 15% move just in this little leg up. But the probability of it hitting this 100 level, the probability is not very strong. But once again, we know that this is happening where Bitcoin is continuously setting new support levels as the price each day moves up, gets stronger. So here at 500, at 786, take profit. Okay. We could have put a trade here if we wanted and wrote it out, but I think my system probably wouldn't have done that. But what it would have done, it would have now set a new level at the 618. Okay, and then you can see here at 618, and we could have done the same process. And let's just do a 2-day view. I haven't done this yet, but these are sort of things that I'm thinking about. And again, these are hourly time frames that we're dealing with. So, one thing I want to show you is very, very important. We talked about how accurate this thing is. Look at this. It peaks at level 100 on this move. This is Fibonacci at its best. Sequential, natural sequences in nature. This, again, seems to be bizarre how accurate it is. It peaks at level 100 on the 3-day view with hourly data. That is pretty interesting. It just doesn't happen up here, up down here, right at 100 or level 1. Okay. So, and the other thing is you'll see how, I think this is a 1-day view now. Let me just see here. Yeah, mine automatically refresh itself. Yeah, so this is now the 2-day view. As I said prior, it's set. We see how it bounces off that 382 on the 2-day. It just, these moves are very, very accurate. I mean, we are bouncing minimum 382, blows through that, take profit or take profit here on that particular trade. But again, these moves are always peaking at a Fibonacci level. In this case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of contact at level 786. That is pretty cool. And it peaks exactly at level 100. And it kind of blows through that 236. There's a lot of people using these levels, probably doing the same analysis. And I think it's something very, very accurate. But here's the problem. As I talked about the big moves, these big down moves, these are hard to watch for. But if you're only watching here and you are either breaking through, putting your entry at the 500 or half a position or full position at the 618, get out at 786. And as I said, the chances of it happening to blow through that 100, that's a tough one. But again, you can see here another opportunity here to take that trade again at 500, half a position, 618, and it moves back up to 786. So there's different ways to attack it. Visually, you would think, and there's probably going to be a lot of intuition as a human on what to do when it hits these particular levels. There's probably some other factors you could look at, but when you overlay them on this move, unfortunately, there is nothing that I know of that will do that. I am looking at some other indicators that could possibly, what we call cycle indicators. So I'm going to kind of see if those may work, and I may chart those. So that is Bitcoin. So let's start looking at Ethereum against USDT or Ethereum. Ethereum has been somewhat outperforming or can outperform. There's a lot more positive news with Ethereum, and it seems to just do better with when you look at this is currently running. So right now, here's the performance of Bitcoin at 0.46, Ethereum Classic at 0.56. So Ethereum Classic's outperforming currently, and so those are your top two performers in the big five that I look at. And again, those are Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin.